This YouTuber has set an impossible record that will make your head spin. Because we are going to show you all the cursed records that are not only unbelievable but also downright scary. A YouTuber has set a terrifying record by not sleeping for 11 days in a row. The proudest feat of Mr. Beast's life and some other records that are so cursed that if you try to break them, you will feel like death is knocking at your door. What you are going to see in the video will present terror, disbelief and thrilling truth before your eyes. So if you dare, watch it without taking your eyes off. Let's start with the crazy YouTuber Ross Creations. There are many pranksters in the world of YouTube who want to make people laugh. But this YouTuber named Ross Creations seems to use the law as a toy in the name of prank. Once upon a time, pranks on YouTube meant a little fun and a little scare. But Ross's prank was completely out of bounds. Once he went to the cinema and started giving wedges to strangers. That is, suddenly pulling someone's pants down. Although it may sound funny, it is absolutely shameful and quite painful for the person on whom it is done. And it doesn't end here. One after another, he has done things that are directly criminal, such as flashing his dick in front of a police officer's nose, removing a stop sign from a traffic signal, running naked on a baseball field, and even dressing up as a fake officer and giving out parking tickets. At one point, Ross was behaving so crazy that his arrests became a regular occurrence. He was arrested a total of 6 times. Yes, 6 times. And no YouTuber has been arrested so many times in the history of YouTube. Ross Creations holds the record for that. He has not only recorded on YouTube but also made criminal records. He has created a history of soft norm. He deliberately accompanied extreme mental and physical suffering. Many YouTubers challenge him, some with food, and some spend the night in terrible places, but he does something that is hard to imagine. He stood in one place for 38 hours straight. He stopped moving at all. The challenge was simply the longest time standing still. And Norm did it in public. In an outdoor mall where people were constantly crowded. The streaming was on, there were cameras, and there was no shortage of trolls. Someone painted his face. Someone sprayed him with paint, and someone burned toys in his face. But Norm didn't even say the word, "to." He stood there for hours without blinking, with a look of patience on his face. It wasn't just a physical record. It was the ultimate test of mental endurance. Some might think it was fun. But the reality is that in these 38 hours, both Norm's body and mind were extremely exhausted. By the end, he looked like he was in a daze. Smoke in his head and emptiness in his eyes. Yet in the end, he set the record. The story of this YouTuber, Eden Ross, is like a tragic film. Where every chapter has new shocks, new deceptions, and even bigger financial losses. He didn't lack any money of his own. But the problem was his decisions. This pushed him into one scam after another and the trap of wrong investments. It all started when Aiden wanted to bring the famous rapper Playboy's car to his stream. A big deal was made and the car arrived but late. He made a few grunts and picked up his bag without saying a word. And left in just 10 minutes. Aiden spent almost $2 million for this 10-minute silent appearance. Then came a poker game with 21 Savage where Aiden lost another $120,000 and the audience suspected that the cards had been scratched in advance. But the biggest shock came when Aiden snatched his dream car, a one-off customized Rolls-Royce Cullinan worth about $7.5 million. He got the car and got the papers. But a few months later, the bad news came. The title of the car was fake. This means that he was not the legal owner of what he had bought. So he had to return that car too. The most terrifying thing was that he spent $200,000 on an unreleased Kanye West song and later found out that the song wasn't even a real song. It was an AI-generated fake track. In total, Aiden lost more than $3 million in fraud and bad decisions, making him one of the stupidest investors and scam victims in YouTube history. While Nicodemo Avocado Aiden Ross was losing his money in one financial scam after another, Nicodemo Avocado was going down a different path where existence, not money, was the main bet. There are very few YouTubers in history who have turned their body, mind, and even their entire lives into a show, and Nicodemo was doing just that. For years, a once calm vegetarian boy was seen laughing and destroying himself with huge plates of fast food. His weight gradually increased from 300 to 400 to finally 410 pounds. Greater than his videos became a disgusting stage for screaming, crying, and getting fat. Viewers would get some entertainment. Some would turn their eyes away from Corona. But everyone knew something was wrong with this boy. He suddenly disappeared around 2024. No new videos, no updates. Complete silence. A few months later, he suddenly returned to YouTube. But in a completely different form. He was no longer as fat as before. His body was slim and his eyes were filled with confidence and his words were full of mystery. In the video, he announced that this has been the greatest social experiment of my life. I am always 2 steps ahead and I am the villain. That is, he himself said that many of the mood bank videos he had uploaded over the past few years were pre-recorded, and during this time, he himself was secretly spending time on his own transformation. The entire internet was stunned by this announcement. No one could believe it. Some were saying that this was mastermind-level content. Some were saying that it was complete mental torture. However, one thing is certain, Nicodemo had made his life a living social experiment in the history of YouTube. He did not just go from fat to thin. Rather, he showed what content is and how much people can hide the truth even through deception. Badlands Chucks, where Nicodemo Avocado has been performing a live show with his body for years. Badlands Chucks does a completely straight snake but an incredible feat. He does a record that many will say if they hear it, is this really human? Yes, participating in the Battleland Nathan's Lemonade Chucks content, he swallowed a gallon, or about 3.8 liters, of lemonade in one gulp in just 21 seconds. It wasn't just drinking. It was a kind of liquid explosion. It was like a water pump. The liquid was going down his throat. Without stopping for a moment. The audience, the referee, and even the cameraman were stunned during the incident. Some could not believe that this was actually happening in front of them in real time. The stage announcer shouted, "New world record." And a storm of applause fell all around. Just imagine, a gallon of lemonade that someone drinks slowly all day can be poured down their throat in just 21 seconds. This feat of Badland proves that the extraordinary nature of the body is not limited to the muscles built in the gym by hard work. Sometimes, a wide throat and an indomitable mentality can also become a world record champion. For Jack Paul, the boxing ring means a battlefield. Some come with gloves in their hands, some come full of courage. And Jack Paul comes wearing a diamond-studded battle armor. As a YouTuber, Jack has always been used to a luxurious life. Cars, houses, jewelry are all exaggerated. But what he did before entering the ring with Mike Tyson in 2024 has become not only a record but also a part of history. Jack had his boxing outfit made by an LA-based fashion designer Sue Sargent. The suit was not only unique but also looked like a king. 380-carat VS diamonds, custom wool suit, original designer signature sewn into the shorts, diamond chain on the waist, and even the jacket was studded with gems. And all in all, The price of that boxing outfit is $1 million. Yes, this outfit is for just one match. This outfit was a strong message from Jack Paul that he is not just a YouTube star. He himself is now a brand, an icon, an influencer, whose every step becomes international news. Logan Paul. When Jack Paul was showing the glimmer of diamonds in the fighting ring, Logan entered a completely different world. The realm of Pokemon cards. Logan Paul's love for Pokemon is unknown to anyone. The cards he used to play with as a child grew up and made the most expensive personal collection in the world. But what he did in 2022 was not just a hobby, but a crazy historical step. Logan then started looking for the holy grail of a Pokemon card. That is, the rarest and most expensive card in the world. Pikachu Illustrator. This card is so unique that there is only one in the whole world. This is not an ordinary card, but rather a dream for card collectors. Logan poured money, time, and networking into finding this card. He even spent $1.2 million to buy another card. Finally, after meeting a private collector in Dubai, Logan bought the most expensive card in Pokemon history. Pikachu Illustrator, which costs $5.2 million. However, it was not at an auction. Rather, it was a completely private transaction. Greater than, and Logan later hung this card around his neck like a chain and announced that this is the crown of Pokemon history. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson. He is not just a YouTuber. In a word, he can be called a monster YouTuber. Because each of his videos is like a movie, a social revolution. Where other YouTubers are busy with themselves, Mr. Beast is the complete opposite. He doesn't just take, but gives, begs and creates. Let's start with his most iconic record. The record of car gifts. Yes, Mr. Beast has personally gifted the most cars in YouTube history. That's not like he gave a car to someone in a competition, but he bought an entire dealership in a video. Then he turned it into a monster giveaway platform. Everyone from strangers to beggars to teachers got cars. But it doesn't end here. Mr. Beast does a kind of giveaway that people couldn't even dream of. He directly gives away a $2 million island to a winner in one of his videos. Yes, an island where there are separate beaches, houses and all kinds of opportunities to live your life the way you want. Imagine if you were to own an island yourself